Yesterday I went to the gym, push day, one of my favourites, and I just finished the session, was coming home, feeling pretty good about myself, having been to the gym, worked hard. Getting back, looking at myself in the mirror, felt decent. Then when I'm done eating, I sit down and go on Instagram, as many people would. And the first thing I saw was a guy my age in drastically better shape than I was. I'm talking looked like Arnold. Very, very, very good physique. And it immediately, consciously or subconsciously, made me think less of how I looked and the hard work that I put in. And I guess that's the message for today's video, is stop comparing yourself to others. Now, comparison is a natural human instinct, I think. In some ways, I think it probably helped us to survive and evolve, because if we're going way back, you look at cavemen, and if they see another caveman and they're going, oh, he's getting more food than me, he's providing more, I need to step up my game. They go out, get more food, provide for their family, build more houses. This goes for men and women also. And in turn, he probably built a better life for himself by providing more. And in some cases, I think that was very important, because we needed it to survive. But I think it's very good and important to make the distinction between good and bad comparison. Because good comparison can push you to grow stronger, can make you achieve things you didn't think previously possible. I like to use the analogy of the way you get faster at running is by running with a group of people who are faster than you. And I think that's good comparison, because you're with people who are faster than you, let's say on paper, over 5 kilometers. And by being around them, seeing what they do, the technique they run with, what they eat, how they sleep, naturally you start to fall into a groove of improvement, because you start copying those things, comparing yourself to what they're doing and making improvements. I think that's good. That's a good comparison. But I think a bad comparison stems from a constant nagging voice at the back of your head whenever you see someone else who might be making more money, might have a better physique, have more friends, doing more things with their life, seems busier than you. It's very easy to fall into a routine of constant self-hate because of that, which is very unproductive and only really leads you further down the rabbit hole of not being where you want to be. So I think it is important to make the distinction there, because I don't know who said this quote, but I think it's one of the most true. Comparison is the thief of joy. When I was looking at this guy's physique and comparing it to my physique, all I could think about was how much better he looked than I did, and all I could think about was, oh God, the things I do to look like that. And I disregarded the months that I've spent in the gym, the countless meals that I forced down myself, the tracking calories that I did, all that hard work. I didn't even think about it. All I thought about was what I wanted next, or what I could have. And I think this is very prevalent, not only in the gym, for example, but just in life, where people really tend to feel like they're behind in life for one reason or another. It could be your career, it could be whether or not you have a partner, a marriage, could be, I guess stemming off career, could be how much money you have. And when you fall into those patterns of constant comparison with other people, I think you start to lose sight of the hard work that you've put in, which is what happened to me. And I also think that this has been made a much larger problem by social media, because if I didn't have Instagram, didn't have TikTok, I wouldn't have sat down on it after I ate my meal, seen the video, and then immediately forgotten all the hard work I put in thinking about how someone else looked. And it's the same way, again, not just in the gym, it's the same way people will show off their lavish lifestyles on Instagram, telling you to buy a £1,000 course on how to get rich like them, saying how they made their first million at 20, 19, etc. And it will make you think, oh, well, why haven't I done that? Why haven't I made my first million? Why haven't I got an apartment in Miami, New York, in Dubai, making crap tons of money? And that, I think, is something that you should try to be cognizant of as much as you can, because it's important to remember what you actually want. When you're constantly comparing yourself to the lives of other people, I think you also start to lose sight of your actual goals and your own desires, because it's a drone flying. Because you get wrapped up in other people's lives, and you shouldn't be doing that, at least in my opinion. I think your main focus should be on yourself, what you could do to improve, and doing the things that make you happy. And the main solution that I would have to this, and what I've been trying to do, is comparing myself to myself. When I looked at, see these other physiques online, I'll forget about all the hard work I put in and my starting point. And I think it's important to recognize if you have made lots of improvements, and it's important to recognize the improvement you have made and give yourself a pat on the back, and don't be too hard on yourself. If I look back at the photos of myself when I just started going to the gym at university, it's a big difference. Maybe not one that noticeable to other people because it's so gradual, but to me, I can see clear differences and clear improvements. And I think that's the best way to go about it. I think you should be comparing yourself to how you were yesterday and what you could do tomorrow. Yesterday, let's say, I didn't go to the gym, I'm not feeling good about myself. I didn't get any work done, I procrastinated all day. Think about what you can do with tomorrow and the possibilities there are, rather than fixating your entire consciousness on someone else's life and how much better they're doing than you. Because the truth is, there's always going to be someone better looking, there's always going to be someone who's making more money than you, there's always going to be someone who might portray themselves as being in a happier relationship. There will always be a point of comparison. If you look at, let's say, someone making $40,000 a year, to me that's a good amount of money. But that person making $40,000 a year will be comparing themselves to someone making $80,000 a year. The person making $80,000 will be comparing themselves to someone making $100,000, and so on and so on. And I was talking about good comparison and being around people that lift you up just by being in their presence, because comparison can stimulate growth and help you improve. But the lines get very blurred when it comes to comparing yourself to people on social media or people who you think might be in a better spot in life, because their life is completely separate from yours. They'll have had different upbringings, different experiences, different opportunities. The only person you can confidently compare yourself to is yourself. And I think that's the main topic here, or point that I'm trying to get across, which is to be less hard on yourself. Now, I'm a big advocate for being tough on yourself in certain circumstances when it comes to discipline, getting work done, physical fitness, that kind of stuff. Being a good friend, I think it's good to be tough on yourself in terms of making sure that you stick to your word, because that is something that I think reflects a lot on your character. But you shouldn't be comparing yourself to anyone apart from yourself. Like I said, compare yourself to yesterday and what you can do tomorrow to improve. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just don't be so hard on yourself, be kind to yourself, and have fun. We've only got so long here, so yeah. If you like this, again, if you guys like this kind of talking content, let me know, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.